amazing talk for posterity. So we'll just let it go in the wind, like, everything else. But we're recording now, and I'm going to switch this view to speaker. There we go. Okay. So many of you know this Tai Chi warm up, and we can start the mindful exploration of pacing right with this. This is just a way to loosen up the hips, sink down, shift the weight, and we're not moving the arms. The arms are just going along for the ride. We're moving as we're moving the hips, and we're sinking the weight. Okay. Now, what pace do you do this at? Well, normally we just come and start doing it. Okay, so that's called habitual action. And so what we can do here is we can make this little warm up. We can make it subtle, or we can make it really big. Really, we can make it really big, depending, and this is the key, depending on how you feel at this very moment. Everything in Qigong depends on your presence, the condition that you're at right now. What do you need? Have you been feeling kind of sleepy? Well, then, really let this thing fly. You know, are you kind of tired out from a long day? Has it been a lot of, then, maybe just then you can just do this subtly. Okay. So there's a right way to do this, which involves turning the hips and sinking the weight, right? That's how you do it. But the way that you express this, you just try it different ways and see how it feels. That's that's it. Okay. And some days, I mean, you can really let go of this. And it's true of every single movement that we're going to do here. So I'm modeling this for you, and it's good because you want to learn the movements and so on. But at a certain point, just feel it for yourself. This is about empowering you to sense your presence, sense your energy in your body as it is, and then as you're affecting it. Okay? So let's just as an experiment, let's try doing just this warm up with the breath. And by that I mean you're using the breath as a rhythm. It doesn't mean in breath, out breath, in breath. I mean, it can. It could be 2 moves per breath, sort of like that. If it's 1 move per breath, it's going to be more like that. So it's just a matter of being aware of the pace of your breath and then harmonizing the pace of the movement to your breath. And that applies to all movements. It's not just in breath and then out breath. It can be, but the main thing is just be aware of moving with your breath, in harmony with your breath. Okay? So when you line up your intention, to do this movement, and your breathing and the movement itself, you have all three levels in harmony. And that's what promotes the flow of Qi. Okay, now let's just gradually reduce this. And then in standing, let's just notice our breath is going to become slower, isn't it? Because we're not moving. Our heart rate is going to slowly decrease. The intention here is not to move, it's just to feel the breath, notice the heart, and also the sensations in the body. Okay, very good. All right, let's go ahead and bow to the directions. So starting with the east. And now we're going to dip the knees as a beginning. So this is the wind up, then come back up, and then the hands come up. So bowing to the east. And when we bend down, that's an out breath. And we straighten up, that's an in breath. Okay, and turning to the south. Okay, and then to the west. And then turning to the north. And then back to your screen. Okay, and then we're going to go up, so dipping the knees. In breath, look up, stretch. Okay, and around, and down. Okay, so there's the body, that's the earth, that's the lower. And there's the mind, there's the intention to hold this posture. And then there's the spirit, there's the breath moving through this. So harmonizing all of these. Okay, and then return to standing. Okay, and now it's just noticing. So the body is here, the posture is here, standing position 1, or standing mountain. So their body is here. The intention, the mind, is to hold the posture and to scan. And the breath. So you can, if you like, you can breathe in down through the top of the head, and then out the bottoms of the feet. Okay, so can you feel it? You can feel it when body and breath and mind are all unified. Because you can feel it because there are no stray thoughts, and there's no tension. Okay, good. You can break your stance a little bit if you want to. All right, let's go into loosening up the head and neck. And then let your shoulders get involved. The usual teaching is to circle the shoulders together, one direction and then the other direction. And then, as you loosen up more, you can alternate. Just it's a little looser movement. Okay. And then opening the chest. So again, so with your breath, so breathe, follow the breath, harmonize the movement, to the breath. And you can do this subtly or deeply. You can really sink down and open up, arch the back. So the pacing is the timing, but it's also how big you want your movement to be. It can be very big, it can be very slow, it can be faster. Okay, so if you do it faster, it's more stimulating. It's going to get your heart rate up. If you do it more slowly, you'll be breathing more deeply. So following the hands, we're focusing attention internally in the body when the fingers are pointing to the body, and then all around. Okay, and all around means behind you as well as left, right, front. Just extend your awareness in all directions. So extend it behind you. Okay, very good. Okay, let's flex the hip joint. So just rocking what they call the pelvic cradle. We're rocking the cradle of the pelvis. Never thought of that. Or is it the pelvic girdle? I guess it's the pelvic girdle. We don't like girdles though, so we'll go with cradle. Rocking the pelvic cradle. Even with this, be aware of the breath. Okay, reduce a little. Okay. And then swiveling the hips. It's kind of a stirring motion, isn't it? It's kind of a circling. Now, if you want to, you can bring in the shoulders. You can bring in the head and neck. You can do the whole body. Very good. Okay, and then playing the piano. And so shifting the weight to one. And so when we shift the weight, we bend the knee a little bit, sink down, so that we can pick up the unweighted heel. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, and let's go into the backwash. 3 backwashes, and each with 3 tree and spring. So for newer people, so we're just going to let the head be heavy, and as it draws down, pulls down the upper body. We're opening up the spine. This is kind of like a swimmer getting ready to dive before a race. Coming back up, bringing the attention up the spine. Just as the head comes up, so bringing up. This is tree in spring. Okay, very good. So let's move into a side to side. We've been doing a lot of up and down. So cloud hands, there's a, a felt and or imagined connection between the palms at the center line of the body. So the intention is to sense this connection between the palms and between all three dantians. Okay, so the lower hands at the lower dantian, middle hands at the middle dantian, but it also assumes where all three are lined up. Okay, so now again, organize this, the speed of this and the extent of the movement, organize it with your breath and see how it feels. As you can do this quite joyfully, really. You can do this to make yourself really wake up. Or you can do this very slowly. To really sort of center yourself. So we'll do this for, a couple minutes. And if you like, you can vary this, while we're doing it. Start out slow and end up fast, or whatever you want to do. If your mind is active, if there's thoughts coming and going, then you can make this bigger if you like. The thoughts won't be able, they won't be as strong. If you're feeling quite still, this is a movement of balancing. The upper hand becomes the lower hand that balances. Yeah, so let's reduce the movement and just come back to the beginning of it. And I want to relate this to what I was mentioning at the beginning. So this is the vertical axis, okay? This is the lower dantian, the womb of life. This is the heart connection to all. So this is vertical, and then the head. That's what this is. We're aligning vertically. The stance is vertical, okay? Now, as we move, we're taking this rigid verticality and we're moving it, aren't we? All around. So this is a way to learn and to practice the Dharma without words. So this is an expression of spaciousness all around the body. And up becomes down, down becomes up, left becomes right. You see, this is closer to the awakened state because there aren't boundaries. So by aligning, the body, the intention, the movement, and the breath, see how it feels. There's a great freedom in this movement at the extremities. It's still returning to that central axis, isn't it? But there's a great expression. You harmonize with the breath. It's an expression of spaciousness. Spaciousness around the body, spaciousness in the mind. Actually creating it or discovering it, inhabiting it, whatever it is. And then from that spacious experience there, then we return to the form, to the body, to the verticality. Only now there's a little more awareness of this energy, isn't it? It's kind of, we return with a little more buoyancy. We're not stuck in this. We're the energy that inhabits the form, but is free of it. So all of that, all of that Zen Dharma teaching is right in this cloud hands movement. Okay. So another expression. Let's bring the hands up to the middle, Dantian. Now this makes it even in a way more obvious. So it's assumed that if our hands are here at the middle Dantian, that we're also including the lower and the upper. Okay, so that we're focusing attention in the chest, the lungs, the heart. We're focusing attention, but there's this reverberation at the lower and at the upper at the same time. It's not separate. Okay, so now touching heaven, touching earth. So one hand goes down, it's passing by the lower dantian. The other hand's going up, it's passing by the upper dantian and beyond. Okay, so to touch heaven and earth, we have to stretch. So stretch both a little bit. And now with the breath, we're bringing earth up and heaven down. Then with the breath, this is the spaciousness all around the body. Bringing left and right together. Okay, now we're switching, we're reversing the hands. Okay, stretch a little. Okay, and now with the breath, use the intention to send out beyond the body to go in the direction the hands are pointing. So we're going way, 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 way up. We're going way, 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 way down into the roots of or down the roots of the earth. Okay, way up and way down. Okay, and now when we bring them together, we're bringing way above the body, way below, into the body. We're extending the range of the body. Okay, and then out. Okay, again, we're extending here too. We're extending out from the fingers, the 10 fingers, out in all directions. Okay, extend way, 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 way out, as far as you can. And with the breath, and then when you're ready, so we're going to bring all of that extended consciousness all back into the center. So go ahead and pace this however you feel. So you can do this very slowly or faster. You can hold any of these three positions. You can hold them, extend more. But when you move with the breath. Okay. And when you're ready, just finish at the heart. Then let's move one hand down, one up, and leave the other at the heart. Check in with the breath. Okay. And then just slowly, let's take our seat. And now for the next, number of minutes, uh, just allow you allow yourself to choose and remember any of the movements that we've done, and go ahead and repeat them with your memory, with your imagination, with the breath. Just pretend you're doing the movement with the breath. And then notice how your body's feeling and the state of the mind. If you notice thoughts beginning to appear in the mind, you can go ahead and move a little bit, loosen the body a little. The thoughts will disappear. Smiling is good. Yeah, let's take a few more breaths. And just very subtly begin to move. Okay, very good. All right, so let's go ahead and clap our hands together one time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Make heat and massage the face as you see fit. Eye sockets or the temples, scalp, ears, forehead. And just brush down the body a little. And then make loose fists. Tap the kidneys. And massage the kidneys. Okay, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for your practice. And if you would like to slip away, that's good. And if you'd like to stay for a few minutes of conversation, I will put it on gallery view. And